his difference is, there's a difference of 104 crores. Now, I would like the Commission to inquire into why this has happened. Why so much of, why all the planning, all the figures, whatever has been done, and this has not resulted in what actually should have happened. There is a big discrepancy. So I would like the Commission to go into this part. The actual number of consumers given estimated has gone down by 25,000, which for a state like Goa is huge. Which does it mean that people who were expected to take connections by the department, like huge buildings coming up, are now consuming electricity without taking connections? Basically, is it theft going on? Which is something I think we should be looking at. And the last point is about the smart meters, which Mr. Martins also raised. The actual installation of smart meter should begin in the month of December 25. I feel that there is not too much awareness in the public about what the smart meter actually is going to be. Because if the smart meter is something which the readings of which should reach some cell in the electricity department without it being actually physically seen, without accessibility, is that how smart the meter is going to be? If it is going to be that smart, I don't know, why was there a sort of a mission by the electricity department in the past few months for people to bring their meters out in the open, make the meters accessible, where people have suffered costs, suffered even harassment at the hands of the local officers, that the meters should be brought out, otherwise connections would be disconnected. This has happened, and I know of at least one case where in an isolated bungalow, when the owner refused to shift his meter out, basically because along with the meter out, the electricity department staff wanted the MCB or the MCCB to be also accessible at all times. Now in an isolated area of Goa, with there are no other people around, if you have your main MCB accessible, somebody might come in the middle of night, switch off your power supply. You wake up in the middle of night inside, and you want to come out and switch on your power supply, first thing. And then we say there is law and order situation. Some logic in this seems to be missing. Thank you. Okay.
Next, Mr. Rohan Pai Angli. Next, Mr. Durai Raj. Mr. Durai Raj. Next, Mr. Dinal.
Good morning, sir. I'm Gerard Dinalo, Chairman of Infrastructure Committee of GCCI. So, first of all, once again, I'd like to congratulate the department because of the timely submission, as was just pointed out by the previous speaker. Now, earlier, the chewing up used to be done after 3 years, so they have brought the accounts up to date, which is a great thing. Secondly, they have managed to limit the T&D losses within the approved limits. That is also a good thing. Now, one thing we had also observed, the employee expenses shown, what the previous speaker also pointed out. Perhaps it's a typographical error, but it causes some confusion because the expenses are shown as 472 crores in the table as against actual of 414 crores, and that is actually an increase of 13.88%. But in the comment there, it is shown as 427. Instead of 472, it is shown as 427. And that again is an increase, but they have said it's a decrease. So there is some little confusion there which needs to be clarified. Then we have observed that there is a 2.44% increase in the quantum of power purchased. But the cost of power purchase was higher by 22.88%. So that is, quite a bit out. So obviously, power being purchased at a higher cost. So that needs to be looked into. Probably managing peak power cost in terms, I know it's a long-term, managing it in terms of long-term is a challenging issue, but that needs to be looked into. And that also brings us to the point that, as even Chief Engineer said, we are totally importing all the power. So we need to look at some generation within the state, whether it be, whatever suitable to the environment also. Even now, although people get scared of nuclear, but there is, there are new technologies which should be looked into, provided they are environmentally friendly.
So just a question, are you representing the industry or the consumers?
Industry.
Industry. Okay. So would you like to comment? You have commented on the timely submission of the accounts, but what about quality of power supply and the response? That also will need some feedback from you. And secondly, just wanted to know if you mentioned about the in-house in-the-state generation. Is rooftop solar being practiced here in the state?
Actually, rooftop solar is being practiced and it's being promoted for the domestic. But when it comes to industry, actually, recently there has been a cap which has come that more than 500 kilowatts power, what is it? Not permitted, no? Maybe. Thank you.
Regarding rooftop solar, there is a cap of 500 kilowatt kWp which is not allowed above that in the net metering. So that if,
Kilowatts is a sufficiently large number.
No, for an industry it is.
For industry, yes, it will be so, but has the industry installed
Yeah.
up to 500 kilowatts?
Yeah, industry.
They have.
Good morning, sir. My name is Sanjay Amurkar. I am the Director General of the Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I will just take forward what my colleagues have said. There is a very interesting slide, if you saw, sir, of the total number of the type of connections in the state. If you see, almost 50% are industrial and 16% are commercial. So you can see almost 70% of our power is being consumed by commercial entities, correct? And if you see the generation of power, as you rightly said, the solar power generation in the state is only 70 megawatts, and our consumption right is around 850 megawatts, so we are less than 10%. Now there is a target which was given to the state of 150 megawatts by last year, which has not happened. We are not even 50% of it. And my colleagues have rightly said that instead of targeting the general public for rooftop, if you can give that same advantage to the industry by removing this 500 kilowatt cap, then suddenly your power generation will go up. I think we are 143 units negative in that list which you have given, which you have taken solar and wind energy from the other states. Okay. Now there are two conditions mentioned in this. Regarding I can go more than 500 kW provided we get a certificate from the electricity department that the grid will be stable. If I am right, there is right now there is one institute called Goa Institute of Management which are generating around 800 kW, but they are not getting the advantage of the net metering above 500, and others are in 300. A lot of industries are ready to put up solar farms, and if you do it, your generation of solar power will suddenly go up. So I request the Commission to kindly take note of this.
So they are doing only solar or doing solar with storage also?
No storage, sir.
No storage.
No storage.
Then that doesn't help you much.
BESS is
During daytime you got sufficient power.
difficult and very expensive, so not high. My second limited point is, there was a column of non-tariff costs. In Goa, sir, we have a typical situation that electricity poles are also used for cables. That is, cables for TV cables and all those. And there are certain costs which come to it. And I think it was running in crores, if I am not mistaken, it was mentioned also. But nothing has been shown as recovered from these people in the non-tariff cost, if you see.
It does come as a non-tariff income. It does come.
It's shown as blank. It's not, nothing is mentioned.
No, it will be there. It will be there.
Can we just check?
Yeah, 69 crores.
No,
Look at number 9.
No, there was one.
Look at serial number 9.
Serial number 9.
2.2 further. Page number 36 of 43.
What is it? The petition.
Non-tariff income from financial year wheeling charges, sales operator of desktop, open access, etc. 23.7 is approved, actual is nil.
So you are talking only for this, sir, is talking only the cable what is come. So it is 2 crore something.
It's not mentioned, nil it is.
For cables,
So yeah, it's blank. Maybe a letter.
What is non-tariff?
On page 37 it is there.
page number 37 or 43.
37.
Yes, 37.
Page number?
37.
See down a little bit. 37 or 43.
The which table number, sir?
Same table content.
Page number 37 or 43.
Miscellaneous receipt.
24.
Okay, miscellaneous receipt. Okay, then one more point, sir, you said that government taking this as the deficit gap taking forward is nil. But in the same page in front you have mentioned that the revenue gap of 196.7 crore arrived for financial year 24-25 shall be borne by the state government. So they are already bearing 196 crore. As my good friend Martin said, that 196 crore belongs to the public. So that cost will add up to the other cost of yeah. So see, the main aim of the draw is to ascertain these figures are correct. So based on these figures, we will be planning our searches. So if the figures are not correct, then the burden will end up with the consumer. In the next tariff petition, again the prices will go up. So our concern is that these figures may be doubly verified, checked wherever there are corrections to be made, so that the general public is not affected in the tariff. I thank you for the time given to me, sir.
So regarding that solar net metering, there was a notification by the JERC earlier for the industry where solar, either 500 kilowatt or the contract demand of the industry, which is there, whichever is higher can be taken for net metering. But later on that notification was reversed and then came to the 500 kilowatt cap. So if that earlier notification can be restored, then the industry can go on with a major solar.
Next, Mr.
So when
Prakash.
we were talking about installation of solar, we were told that the land is scarce and costly in Goa. But here you are giving the impression that industries, they have land.
Yes, sir. There are
Rooftop.
This is all for rooftop solar.
Rooftop. Okay.
Next, Mr. Prakash Lotilkar.
Hello. See, I had a single point. That is, see, every day at 6 a.m. in North Goa, we are having a break in power supply. For the last so many years. Now we are on national grid. And I don't know why they cannot give us a continuous power supply. We will be suffering for that. And everything gets disrupted, you know. Even one interruption. And it is continuously going on for so many
For
years.
how long is the interruption? Is it for 1 hour, 2 hours?
1 or 2 minutes or so.
Just 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It will be some technical issues at the nearest substation.
Yeah, this is interesting since I think he's the last I will answer. Mr. Lotlekar, I'll call it sir, he was working for my department earlier, sir. Now what has happened, sir? If you go back in 1970 or 80, that time having power for 10 hours also would have been a blessing. Which today 10 minutes we cannot afford. So that time planning, Mr. Lotlekar, what he did, sir, that you have to break the power and switch into the other feeder. There is no automatic switching over from one source to the other. Now, Lotlekar, if you had to plan that I would be, for next generation, 3 generation, if I had to think how the system has to be, scheme has to be designed, that would have been helpful.
But you could plan it now.
Yes, coming to that. Now, if I cannot disrupt the entire substation and build it, because I have a current consumers to it. So, I want to put bus couplers, automatically I can parallel the system. And Mr. Lotlekar would not get any break. But to do that, again the land constraints, I need to keep the substation running, still try to give the best power. Still I am doing it, sir, but it will be slowly, it needs to be done. So it cannot be done at just one time, sir. For that, Lotlekar will have to bear 3 months of no power. So these are technical things, sir, which should be taken care over a period. That's what
Maybe you could understand it with him after the meeting. It's a one-to-one issue.
He understood.
And secondly,
Sir, he understood it.
the entire public will not need an answer to this. Okay.
Yes.
So in case there are no other speakers, you could provide the responses.
Thank you so much.
All. Okay. Then you can provide the responses. And I would first like to compliment on the quality of responses from public here. It is good that people have read the documents, they have read the true petitions, and have come here and made raised specific issues rather than general issues. This is found at rare places. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. I was supposed to say what Honorable Chairperson has said. I appreciate and I really thanks because people have come prepared. Well, not easy. We are in this subject day and night. So for us it become easy. But since people have come, pointed out certain mistakes, maybe those mistakes have clarification. Not that those are mistakes. But there are some sort of clarification required. But you need to complement this because people have read it. And always there are prominent people who come here, give time, read it. So thank you for that. So I will start. Mr. Roland and Lorna, though many times they try to, be aggressive and try to point out certain issues of the department which helps my department to improve. But they are also trying to help my department so that public can understand what my department is going also through. Mr. Roland has said nicely, budgetary support is being given by the government, state, and it is from my pocket only. Same thing I am trying to tell everybody in the media, the consumers, simply do not ask rebates, reduction of power or what you call it, what Delhi gives, this many free, because you only need to pay it from other side. So that is what he has made a good point. So what you should demand is the efficiency, how we have to improve on efficiency, not directly asking to Delhi data hai to 200 units, humko bhi de do. Please do not do that, it will make you paralyzed. Over a period, today Lotlikar is saying, do something. That should have been done 20 years back or 30 years back. So if we give this temporary relief to you, your children or grandchildren will suffer. Okay. Because finally the cost has to be borne by the people of Goa only. So why not bear a little bit now instead of keeping it a big chunk of money your children has to bear. Coming to smart metering, I want to be loud and very clear. Smart metering is a different kind of subject. If you touch it, politically also it gets affected. There are few people come who object because of their political gains. But people of Goa should understand, smart metering gives lot of insights. It's very, very important. Smart metering, if you see Bihar, UP or any other state, do not compare it with what you see in the papers. We are already having electronic meters. So the meter will not record high, low, nothing. The meter will record same thing. But if you see other states, I don't want to name them, there the meters were electromagnetic or very old technology. So now when they go for smart metering, it is affecting them not because they are smart meters, because they are electronic meters at the first place, and then we call it smart because of the communication. So here the consumption will not increase because we are already having the best meters. It is only the communication between the consumers and me, between the consumers and your meter will improve, and you will come to know what is exactly happening to your meter. Just understand in this manner. You are roaming with a blood test. You're continuously diabetic, you can see cholesterol, you can see. Today you can see it. If you have money, you will do a test after a year. And you will try to do rigorously, try to change it because you will fear. My diabetics and my cholesterol has increased. And you will try to go exercise, control your diet and improve it only for 3 months, then you again forget. But if you can see continuously my diabetic is improving, you will do improvement every day. That is what smart metering is going to tell you. It is going to give you a consumption every 15 minutes the next day. Entire 24 hours consumption. What has happened? Your memories will be fresh. Yesterday how my consumption increased. I was not in my house only. So you can come and question us. Very next day. How many times the power has been disrupted? What is the voltage you got? So you become very, very powerful. We will be able to improve the losses. You will come to know what exactly is happening every day instead of coming to know after 45 days. So there are people who are coming and telling you smart meters, stop this. Please do not go by such kind of, because these are only for political gain, nothing. They are just trying to, it will affect the performance of the consumers, and the smart metering will improve or reduce the cost. What I'm saying is, the cost of power might increase, but the number of units what you are consuming, you will definitely able to control it. Dilip and Roland also spoke about the smart metering. Now smart metering will get away the metering cost, the billing cost, what we, there is certain cost. So if you see all kind of cost, disconnection cost, connection cost, meter readers around 300 plus meter readers are there. There is delay, there is losses. I do not come to know exactly which coastal belt is increasing, which area is increasing at any point of time. I will be able to plan what Dilip was saying, why you are not planning the infrastructure. I will at once come to know one specific area of Goa is increasing, why it is. I can always put some infrastructure there much before we do load shedding, or there is things which will affect my performance. So we will be having a lot of data in terms of planning of infrastructure. You will have a lot of data so that you can plan your consumption. You can always shift it to because now there is time of day tariff where 80% is there, 120. You can always shift your certain activities. So smart metering is the need of an hour. It is going to give communication to you. Please understand, I am taking the opportunity and trying to tell you, smart metering is very much required. It will help you. The challenge is how to execute, and it is with us. Therefore, we are trying to plan in such a manner. We have deployed smart meter on our feeders, DTCs and government consumer, where we are checking exactly what we need from this project can be fulfilled and achieved or not. So smart metering definitely will help us. Mr. Roland said underground cabling, it should not happen like a bunch cabling. He is right. See, bunch cabling is one of the technology which people thought, underground cabling is costly, why not go for bunch cabling? Somehow the technology failed. I don't want to blame anyone, but the corrective measures have been taken, government is working on it, whether it put a blame or not, because many a time, if you are private players, you will try to at once absorb certain technology or will not do much, study on that. The moment you come to know there is some benefits, you do it. But many times it fails, but many a times, it gets benefited. But here one of this project has failed. I do not know what to say, whether to blame or what. Because that technology at that point of time, somebody thought it is much lower than underground cabling. Why not go for branch cabling? But it has failed because whenever there is a fault, you cannot trace the fault. This is something to do with technical things. The written path was not there and you couldn't trace the fault easily. So I don't want to go in detail. But underground cabling is a good project. It will not fail, but it should be done properly, as Mr. Roland said. Mr. Dilip, he was a VP from Goa Forward Party. I would appreciate it. He came here, it is helpful that any representative comes here, tries to find out faults. Or
I think he is left.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But always he comes, he gives his certain things and he goes. See, you should have that, you should wait to listen to the clarification so that the next time you can improve yourself. Same thing again he will come. I cannot talk to him also. Because whenever I meet him, he will say, no, I did my duty. But your duty is to listen to the other party also. There should be a dialogue. Only then things can improve because he represents a party. And I wanted to, reply. Why is saying why the infrastructure cost is so high? You should understand. If there is no infrastructure also, political parties say there is no infrastructure, there is no power. Why you have not put the putting is also a problem, not putting is also a problem. After putting so much infrastructure, if political parties in the assembly says power is interruption is there, but it has reduced also, everybody said. So we have put this infrastructure to improve the reliability and quality of power to the state of Goa. Sometimes we get certain funding from the central government. Sometimes, the finance department apply, that gets approved. So exactly I cannot say I will try to, government changes. Government sometimes might say electricity is important, sometimes they might say hospitals and road is important. So these calls, he should understand it is based on government and the requirement. So infrastructure is very much required. I would say electricity, without electricity, it is impossible to survive. Impossible, because as a chief engineer, I get calls from various people, youngsters to very old. And I can understand how important is quality of power required in today's context. So therefore we have put lot of infrastructure, as Mr. Lutlikar said, we are going for GIS stations, we are going for underground cable to make it better. He said, for 2-3 minutes it goes. It's much better than the other state. We are trying to improve that also. Because right now I do not find solution to at once get rid of this problem. Because it's a slow process. You need to put bus couplers, you need to dismantle things and go for a different technology. Maybe there will be seamless changing of from one feeder or one source to the other source based on the requirement. Let's say I come to know load at certain places increasing. So this feeder is about to trip. So I try to remove the load from this, I try to put it on the other feeder or to the other substation. So these are the technical requirements which at once will not be able to improve, but we have a vision, we have a goal to gradually get rid of this without affecting big shutdowns and without affecting the quality of power. Capex envisaged and reason, I will give the reason. As sir said, there is a project which is coming from Karnataka. It was given in 2016. How many years? Almost 9 years. Now 2000 crores were there. So they spent almost 700 crores. The project cannot charge. How many? 9 years. That means the capital expenditure is now 1700. Capitalization 0. So if you cannot put the asset in use, you cannot make it capitalization. Because substations are linked to the lines, upstream lines. And lines many a time we are not able to put it because of certain people go in court for for land issues, or people doesn't want to go in. Goa is such that we are small area cannot be increased. But load is increasing, development is happening. Now land has become very critical. Many people say, no, you cannot touch because I cannot get they cannot construct a building, a house, vehicles cannot come. So all these constraints because of which it gets delayed, and therefore capital expenditure becomes lower than the expenditure. 7.95 to 7.44% he was said. I will give the explanation. There is not a big this thing. It has improvements are there, and we are further trying to reduce the losses by way of smart metering. Mr. Gerald said, some other person also said, the power purchase what is approved by the commission is, today commission doesn't come to know what will be the power purchase cost for the next year. But commission, honorable commission and department knows what is my fixed cost and what is my cost as per the agreement. But there is one cost which neither honorable commission comes to know nor I comes to know. That is fuel cost. So there is a mechanism to recover the fuel cost by way of FPPCA, fuel and power cost adjustment. So what commission has approved is the fixed cost, and there is a provision separately. So there is no 22% increase, but there is increase because the power requirement during peak hours has increased, but that is not 22%. It will be hardly some 6 to 8%. There is FPPCA around 300 crores, which is not a part of that 2000 crores. So if you cannot compare 2558 to 2041 crores, the gap is around 520 crores. So the gap will reduce to 160 to 170 crores. So what you are saying, 22% is not. Scheme-wide projects, yes.
Let me put it slightly differently here. I mean, see, these numbers are broadly estimates, and these are fixed about a year in advance. So as he said very rightly, we are aware of the fixed costs, but we don't know what the fuel cost would be. If you look at these numbers, he has given the power purchase from NTPC, from NPCIL. There is a variation there. Sometimes CRC also makes certain adjustments in the mid-year regarding the fixed costs. So they also have to be passed on. So the numbers which are earlier approved, they are not approved, they are based on certain estimates, and that is why there is a process of truing up. In the process of truing up, we see what are the costs which could be controlled, what which could not be controlled. So the costs which were not in the control of the department, they are allowed to be passed through. That which were in the control of the department, they are not allowed to be passed through. So these numbers were estimates fixed long back, and a couple of years later we know the exact number, the price of coal, the price of nuclear power also, that comes in later.
So scheme-wise projects, we will definitely put it. Sources, he said, rationale, you should put the sources. The sources are always put in the website or in the petition everywhere. Notices on the bill is the call of the Honorable Commission. If you Honorable Commission allows, we can do capitalization answer, number of consumers reduced. Okay, number of consumers, Mr. Dilip was saying you should plan. I do not come to know. I can always factor in how the growth is happening. How much commercial establishment is going to come, how many domestic buildings are going to come. But they always change it. That is not in my control. But more or less, we try to plan in such a manner that we are able to plan for a higher number of consumers to be, which is going to increase as per the past history. Coming to Gerald also and some more people also, 500 kilowatt cap, that cap is required in a larger interest of the Goa. Now he represents the industries, so definitely he has come to duty bound for industries. But when Honorable Chairperson told him, can you go for a battery energy storage cell, he said no. At once he said it's costly. So everybody is trying to put solar as a business model, not to care for Goa or to care for certain, as an obligation or as a business. So I also has to see my business for electricity department. If I allow them net metering for more than 500, industry has a lot of money. He will definitely put 2 megawatt. He will try to pump in the grid 2 megawatt of power, and he will nicely try to consume the power during peak hours where my power cost is almost near to 10 rupees. And Honorable Commission last year, the peak prices were 130%, now reduced to 120%. The overall tariff, as political parties speak, there is an increase. I technically, with calculation can prove the tariff totally has reduced for 25-26. Though there is a rise of 5%. Because of this time of day tariff, it is shifted from 100%, it has made 80%. Most of our consumption is during daytime, and I am losing 20%. In peak hours, I am buying power at a rate of 9 rupees 50 paise during exchange. Small quantum though. And consumers have consumed at a rate of 7 rupees. And if I allow you more than 500, you will pump the power into daytime, and the power in the exchange is less than 2 rupees. So 2 rupees and 10 rupees, 8 rupees you will make profit. So I cannot. I will definitely argue and debate and try to request a commission. More than 500 cannot be done, because then the survival and sustainability of electricity department is a problem which will definitely affect the consumers of Goa. Yes, industry might affect little bit, but it will bleed the people of Goa. Industry can always go for a storage, or we have not stopped. That is a cap for net metering. Industry can put 2 megawatt, 3 megawatt, 4 megawatt, but the model of financial will be different for them. Then entire power has to be given to me. It will be paid to them at a rate of 8 ppc, average power purchase cost. So we have not stopped anyone in putting solar. If you care for the planet and Goa, please put it. But the calculations and the financial model will be different. The scheme will not be applicable to you.
See, in such cases, technical feasibility can also be an issue.
Yes.
If it is more than 500, you allow.
Yes.
So the grid has to support.
That is another technical. But more it is hitting on financial,
More
madam.
than financial. I think it is a technical.
It's a technical also, but in that case, what they will try to say is, they will try to consume. You are right, madam. Both is technical as well as
We need
financial.
to stabilize the grid.
My point is, madam, is 16% of the population of this country. Are we reaching a target of 150 megawatts?
See,
the Honorable Prime Minister is asking for maximum renewable energy. If you are putting a cap, why it is possible?
no, Mr. See, we have not put a cap, Mr. Mulkar. I am telling you, put it. I have not put a cap. You can give me 2 megawatt also. But I will not give net metering.
It won't be viable.
Now it's not liable for the department. That's what. See, I cannot allow 16% of the population to become super rich and 84% of the picture to become super poor. That is the problem of.
Local people, general public.
No, you said 60%.
Why give targets in the first place?
Targets are given by looking at a larger picture.
You never achieve your target, sir. If you only consume, there are 3 to 4 lakh connections.
See, but just to fulfill one target and then to have a depth of people is not correct.
What I'm saying is, why
One target to fulfill and affect the people financially, bread and butter is not possible.
let me complete. What I'm saying is, you're saying it's the issue of the pricing, correct? So why don't we sit across and arrive at a price which is good, right?
So that price is already there. No, I told you, I am giving you it. What is to decide there? APC, I am buying power at the rate of average power cost. That power I am giving to you.
So that you have decided. So why can't we sit across the table?
Then I have not decided. That is my cost, which has been derived by way of.
APPC is a number which is a derived number. It is not fixed by him. It is a derived number. It's a cost.
But let us make it a win-win for both the parties. We have got no issue. Did you achieve the national target also?
Yeah. So Mr. Amulkar is
I
saying national
have
target.
discussed this issue with him. I have asked him to come out with tenders for solar power with storage. I have asked him, and he is considering also. Hold on. What we are saying is that there is a surplus power during the solar hours. At evening time, he has to buy power at 8 rupees, 9 rupees, 9.5 rupees. So we were discussing this, that why don't you call for tenders for storage energy. So the industry which have surplus capacity could very well do that. You could set up plants in your premises with storage and you will get an attractive price of maybe the discount price could even be 7 rupees for all we know. So I think you should wait for, you could have a discussion with him and you could wait for further announcements from him. And in any case, buying power from within the state is better for him, then he doesn't have to pay transmission charges. So that I think is on the table and he could.
Yes. Yeah, all the questions I've answered. Still, if you have specific questions and which if honorable chairperson allows.
Comment, sir. Just to appreciate, I checked even last night, there was a new website. Only point is that the information needs to be new.
Yeah.
So the simple things like, because now we are going to the monsoons and all, the safety issues which are data and matter that needs to be put. I would only request if we require some colleges or somebody to help to do that. But we need to use that website as a good communication platform for the department. And I would like that also you honor, remember as we said earlier, those who have lost their lives in the process of the work, various linemen, etc. I think we must remember them, put their something about them on the website. And more important, it can open a kind of feedback thing. So, I find there's a lot of interest in the power issues when the commission comes to go and there's a public hearing. But during the rest of the months, there can be a good exchange by working out a kind of medium of writing to the using the website as a good communication medium would be my suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, we have already made a new website, already made a very interactive where people can at once see accessibility. So all this has been done, but we have not went into live mode. It's already taken care.
I think one issue you did not address was
Yes.
what Dilip raised was about the logic behind you asking consumers to move their meters to the outside.
Very good.
Yeah.
Again, see, Lorna is always something missed. She always helps my department. That's why I firstly mentioned Lorna is helping the department. Very good.
Being aggressive.
Now, Mr. Dilip, what he said is, what somebody can come and put off the MCB. Very surprising. Dilip is only representing 25,000 consumers when I am having a consumer base of 7,50,000 as on date. Mr. Lorna, madam, 7,20,000 meters are already out. There are only 25,000 meters who are inside. So are we supposed to protect the people who are not abiding the law or complying the law?
No, when you're going for smart meters.
Yeah, okay, coming to that. So that both has come together. So the cost, I will not go inside his house and do entire thing of getting the cables and that is not my business because I have not factored in that cost in my smart metering. My smart metering is removing the meter, changing the box and putting a smart meter. I will not go in somebody's bedroom or a sitting room and remove that meter because that will be additional cost to me. And why it should be done only for 20,000 consumers then?
No, but what I'm saying, you also not clarifying it to the consumer.
No, we are
How you
clarifying. If
asking it?
people doesn't want to get clarified, I cannot do anything. It has been clarified through way of advertisement. When opposition leaders came, I told them clearly, nobody want to listen, madam. You like to listen. But I cannot go each 7,50,000 tell them this story. This has been done, madam. These 20,000, 25,000 people have decided they will not comply and will go to the political parties and try to get protection. That is not correct. I don't feel. I am not talking as a chief engineer. I am talking as a citizen of Goa. This is not correct. If I have complied day one, why these people have not complied? It has to be removed out. And smart metering doesn't have to do anything with that cost. That cost is different.
But just specify what is required to be done by them. This you have it specified.
Yeah, sir, it is simple. They have to get the meter at an accessible point where I can just go and at my eye said the meter should be there. I should not be going inside. If they lock it tomorrow, if they are not there, it is not only for meter reading. It is also for safety. It is also to check theft is going on.
Sir, what is important is, see, these ads have come systematically, very, I've been keeping track of all the ads also. I think 12 of them have come.
Yes.
About shifting, this is excellent. I think it's a very good initiative. First time, I'm also hoping, like under Bureau of Indian Standards, they will put such ads about the quality of, the other nodal agency, of the quality of material to be sold in the state of Goa. My only point is that this and the smart meter thing came at the same time. So it has created a little bit confusion. And I would think that if sort of an advertisement would be given, that how smart meter would be rolled out and what are this? Because what happens here, media can write a story, but if it's a advertisement put out in a very systematic way, I think this will remove the doubts and confusion in minds of people. That's
Could be the form of advertisement, could be the form of interview with the chief engineer
and also on the website.
I think they will get it.
Yeah. So therefore I have given some 12 advertisements so that I have given enough time.
But you're not clarifying that you bring the meter, you're saying bring the meter out and at the same time you're saying smart meter.
Yes,
so
so
people
there's
are
a
getting
little bit-
confused.
a little bit
So you
confusion.
bring it out so that the smart meter will go on the outside itself
See,
for easy accessibility.
If a little more clarity will be given, see, we attended a one-day workshop, so we know about how the smart meter works. I had also proposed that taluka-wise, I am personally ready to go to as part of a consumer organization to explain to people. The point is only this, that these things need to be rolled out and people would definitely have high expectation from the department for more clarity, etc. But from 1st April, if this can be put out, more frequently, public
Yes.
advertisement, I think it will be helpful.
We appreciate, we do, but sometimes how much you should publicize, how much not is also an issue. Because what happened, I'll tell you, 95% of the people and the followers just try to read certain things. When let's say we give a public advertisement, I come in front of media, then only few people, 50 people will comment negative. But 95% of people read those 50 comments and they already try to make a judgment of what it is. It becomes a negative publicity also. In terms of smart metering also, if you see, if I go in the media and say smart meter, everybody says bogus, this, that, it has been cheated. So this kind of mentality, we should try to see the positive aspect. So when you try to clarify one thing, I think negative publicity becomes more. So this is a different kind of issue we need to see, because sometimes smart metering benefits will be seen only when smart meter is installed. But if you try to tell smart meter is going to increase the bills, they are going to increase the cost of power, which is not. Yeah.
See,
I just wanted one more. Has the installation of smart meter started?
Yes, sir.
How many have been for how many meters have you placed a placed an order?
So we have placed an order for 7,50,000 entire, wherein 1 lakh.
Is it distributed among various parties or one party?
No, it is one party.
One vendor?
Yes, one vendor.
And how many have they installed till now?
So initially 6 months went into the understanding the technology, what they are going to put, what is the RF technology, and developing the center. We have completed feeder metering, 1,020. We have started with DTCs, which are around 9,000. Government installation we have started, which are around 5,800.
What was it? 9,000 number?
9,000 DTCs, distribution transformer centers. Okay. And then we started with government installation, which are around 5,800.
Okay.
After that, we will go for industries.
So approximately 15,000 have been installed.
Yes, around 20,000.
It must be 2 to 3 year program.
It is till August 2027.
August 2020.
It is
about 1.5 years more.
Yes, 2.5 years.
So the only point I was making is when the first seminar was held, and the kind of presentation was a very detailed presentation. Our only submission was that if these type of presentations can be done at every taluka, what happens? It removes the the doubts, fears, etc., and builds confidence in the concept of the technology. I think this is what is.
You should ask your vendor. You should ask your vendor to do that. It must be part of the program.
Yeah.
Ask your vendor to organize this.
We have already planned, sir. We have already planned.
On 1st April, if that can happen, we would appreciate.
But I would request if Roland can come also and help us, because finally it is a person who understands the technology can speak. Yes.
We have offered it.
Yes, yes, madam.
I just want to make one small comment that this underground cabling has been done in the middle of the roads, maybe just slightly on the side in the middle of the roads. So this is also going to be an expense when there is a problem with the with the connections or whatever. And another thing, the department has not been very transparent in telling us like which kVA connections would go. It's the 33 kVA, right, which is underground. But we were actually told that you will not have any more problems because all the wires are going underground. So I just wanted
So,
to
madam, irrespective whether we go underground or not underground, you should give the best power.
Power has improved.
Yeah.
There is still.
Thank you so much, madam. I always appreciate. Thank you.
The stakeholders who have submitted their comments verbally may like to submit their written comments within a week to the Commission. Now, with permission of the Honorable Commission, we would conclude the public hearing at Panachi in matter of this petition. Thank you.
Man of the moment.
Ya, harga terbaik. Ramai. Masuk ramai. Anak ulam ada. Mau ada.
Now the consumers will have a better understanding of what is the performance of the department every year, unlike as in the past. So as we have welcomed it to the Commission, certain points we have highlighted today that there is a need for more consumer and department contact. when there is a public hearing, there is a lot of focus on electricity issues. But after hearing is over, there is very little communication. So, as we have proposed today, one is the activating of a website which can be interactive with the consumer. So, ह्या वेबसायटीचे जितले डिपार्टमेंट सांगूंक शकता ते वेबसायटीर घालपाक जाय. दुसरो विशय आमी आयज मांडलो की खुबशे आमचे लायनमॅन की खरें डिपार्टमेंटाचे ग्राउंड लेवल काम करता त्यांची सेफ्टी एंड सिक्युरिटी म्हत्वाची आसा. एंड गिरायक म्हणून आमकां कळपाक जाय की डिपार्टमेंट तेजे बाबतींत कितले पयशे कुशीक दवरले. फॉर एक्झाम्पल एट टायम ऑफ एक्सिडंट त्यांचे इन्शुरन्स पेमेंट आणि दुसरे वाटेन आमी पळयतात की खुबशे कामगार इंजर्ड की मरतात पासून की जे कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराचे की सब कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराचे अंडर आसात. सो आयज आमी कमिशनरा मुखार तो विशय मांडलो कित्याक जितले गिरायक हे सेफ्टीच्या बाबतीन पळयतात तांकां एक इफेक्ट जाता की खरें डिपार्टमेंट काम बरे भशेन करता की ना. म्हत्वाचो पॉयंट आयज आमी मांडला की गिरायकाक जे स्मार्ट मिटराचो विशय आसा तेजी टेक्नॉलॉजी कशी गिरायकाक बेनिफीट आसतली ते तालुका लेवलाचेर जागृताय जावपाक जाय. स्मार्ट मिटर येता, स्मार्ट मिटर थोड्या एरियान बसयल्यार ते चड करून पब्लिकाक डायरेक्टली बेनिफीट ना. डिपार्टमेंटाचें काम फुडें व्हरपाक तेंच्यांनी ऑलरेडी स्मार्ट मिटर बसयले, पण तेजे परफॉर्मन्स कशें आहा आनी गिरायकाक कितें बेनिफीट आसतले तेजे तालुका लेवल जावपाक जाय. आनी जशें शिफ्टिंगाचे मिटर डोमेस्टीक मिटर घरांतले भायर हाडचे म्हणून अशें 12 एडवर्टिजमेंट घातले तशें हे स्मार्ट मिटराचे तीच पब्लिसिटी जावची. ओवरऑल आमी पळयलां की खूब इम्प्रुवमेंट जाल्लेले आसा, पूण आमी पॉयंट आउट केल्लेले आसा की जे अंडरग्राउंड केबलिंग जे जाता तेजेर लक्ष आसपाक जाय. कित्याक अंडरग्राउंड केबलिंग फुडल्या वर्सां बरे परफॉर्मन्स दितले जाल्यार ती बरे भशेन अंडरग्राउंड वचपाक जाय. आनी थंय डिपार्टमेंटाचे स्टाफ कोण तरी JE नाल्यार AE कोण तरी सुपरवायज करपाक उरपाक जाय. फक्त कॉन्ट्रॅक्टराच्या हातीन घालप आनी ते सोडप हें आमकां करचें ना. फायनली आमी तो पॉयंट मांडलेलो आसा की 150 crores जे बंच केबलिंगाचो डिस्पेस जालो, आमी परत तो विशय मांडला आयज की तेजेर रिकवरी जावपाक जाय. कित्याक 150 crores स्मॉल अमावंट न्हू तो. आनी लास्टाक कितें आसा बजेटरी सपोर्ट आमी म्हणटा. बजेटरी सपोर्ट जेन्ना गव्हर्मेंट ते आपल्या बजेटान पयशांची जबाबदारी घेता लास्टाक त्या गिरायकाच्या बोल्सांतलेच पयशे ते. सो आमकां कितें जाय जे वेन समथींग हॅज नॉट परफॉर्म कोणाचेर ती रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी येवपाक जाय. आनी तेका लागून परत आमी कमिशना मुखार हो विशय घातलो की बंच केबलिंगाचो इन्क्वायरी प्रॉपर इन्क्वायरी जावपाक जाय आनी रिकवरी जे लॉस जाले ते रिकवरी जावपाक.
अंडरग्राउंड केबल करता आसतना डक्ट कित्याक वापरता?
सो हेच आमकां विशय आहा की डक्ट सारके आसपाक जाय की जो चेंबर टायप आसा की आतां आमी तो विशय पळयला की इंटरनेट केबल वायरी जे आसा पोलार जायते अशे विशय आसा. सो म्हाका तरी दिसता की तालुका वायज जेन्ना इंटरॅक्शन गिरायका बरोबर इंटरॅक्शन जातलें तेन्ना खूब लोकांक स्थानीक लोकांक उलोवपाक जातलें आनी ती परिस्थिती कितें आसा ते डिपार्टमेंटाक खरें फिडबॅक मेळटलें. आमकां बरें दिसता की फाल्यां मडगांव पब्लीक हियरींग आसतलें डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवलाचेर नो प्रॉब्लेम, पूण काणकोण ते पेडण्या पासून गिरायकाक एक प्लॅटफॉर्म मेळपाक जाय. आपले कितें इश्यू आसा ते डिपार्टमेंटा मुखार मारपाक ते आमी आयज कमिशना मुखार ते मांडले.
सर एक असं स्मार्ट मीटर येते म्हणलं न्ही तेजे कॉस्ट बेर करून म्हणटा ते क्लॅरिफाय केल्लें आसा. कॉस्ट आसता पळय स्मार्ट मिटराचो न्ही कॉस्ट बेर करून डिपार्टमेंट बेर केलो कंज्युमर
ना तेच म्हणटा न्हू. हे टोटल विशय जो आसा तो क्लॅरिफिकेशन केन्ना जातलें जेन्ना डिपार्टमेंट फूल एक प्रेस स्टेटमेंट अशें न्हू म्हणजे एडवर्टिजमेंट घालून की बाबा स्मार्ट मिटर कोण जबाबदारी घेतलो ती कशें परफॉर्म जातले. आमी एक दिसाचो सेमिनार अटेंड जालो पूण ते बारीक लोकांक पावपाक जाय. कित्याक लोकांच्या मनान कितें आसा तूं बील फारीक करना ऑटोमॅटिकली स्मार्ट मिटर तुजें कनेक्शन बंद उडयतलें. सो स्थानीक जो गांव आसा काणकोण जो पेडणे आसा तेजी परिस्थिती कितें आसा तेणें बील फारीक करूंक ना कळ्ळें म्हणून ऑटोमॅटिकली बंद जालें. हे क्लॅरिफिकेशन चड करून सिनियर सिटीजनाक
ही क्लॅरिफिकेशन जाय. सो आमी कितें म्हणटा एटलिस्ट येता ते फायनान्शियल इयर 1 एप्रिलांसून एक बरे भशेन सिस्टमॅटीक अवेअरनेस जावचे आनी हे सगळे म्हणजे फ्रिक्वेंटली आस्क क्वेश्चन्स आनी आन्सर FAQs त्या पद्दतीन हे कोंकणी मराठी इंग्लिशीन सगळे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट जावचे.
Yes, thank you.